Okay, welcome to the video, ladies and gentlemen, and today we have a series of making first crop hay. Now, first half of the video, you're going to see us at our farm here, and we got Dad right here, right now, cutting first crop hay. At this point, I just got home from school slash work, so it was 6 o'clock at this point, probably by the time I got the drone up, maybe quarter after 6. And he's been giving her with the A56 turbo and our DC, I think it's a DC 132 disc bind. Beautiful setup, awesome setup, ran great. If you've seen previous videos on the channel here, I've done some engine work. Not really engine work, but I've had engine issue. We've had issues with that engine in that tractor for a while now. More than less head issues, but anywho, this was the first big run for it, and it did great. And you'll see in the background, I'm sure I'll video it here eventually, but there's Dad waving. He's having a grand old time running that rig. This is the first time we've ran an open state, or ran this tractor on the disc bind since we bought the Magnum. Before we bought the Magnum, this generally ran the disc bind, but I bought the disc bind in 2017. And before that, we had two New Holland 499 Hydro-Swing hay binds. And you couldn't get near the amount of done with two hay binds in a day than you can with this one disc bind. But anywho, Dad's just having a grand old time. He ain't ready to give it up yet. I don't remember if he did chores yet at this point, but I did end up taking over for him at some point. But you'll see in the background that there is a New Holland swather sitting still at the moment. That is my Uncle John. He came up, I guess, got bored, whatever, decided to come help cut some hay. And he was broke down at that point. I didn't realize he was broke down. I didn't know what he was doing until Dad stopped at one point at the end there and told me to go see what's going on over there. So I went over there and found out he was plugged, and I helped him out, got him going again, and I came back over. And right here we are. He was sitting there. I didn't know what was going on, so I kind of flew the drone over and see what's going on. He was just sitting there and kind of came to the conclusion that he plugged her pretty good, so I went out there and helped him get her unplugged. He had if I remember right, he had the rubber rolls a little too tight, and she plugged there, so ended up having to pull some out, turn her backwards, and we got her going it took like 15 minutes, a lot of pulling and tugging, but we got her. And he was on his merry way again. And here's Ben grabbing a few bales of hay. He sold actually, the guy driving in the background there, he sold a couple bales to he's got a couple head of cattle that he raises, so gave him a couple bales. And you can see the cattle in the background lining up against the fence line, watching me. So, and this is a different day here. This is our pasture field, what was pasture. We call it the pasture field now that we seeded hay down to, and it was really thick. You could see it was matted down pretty good. You can only get all of it coming back the other way. But this was a workout for that A56. But that A56 needs a pump turned up. But anywho, I'm going to let the video play out now. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Okay, so in this clip in this video, we are over at the neighbor's farm, who we help out and he helps us out. We are chopping his first crop hay, and as you can see, I got the video in 2 times speed. It is thick. We were moving very slow. And I believe this was not the first field of the day. This was field number 3, if I remember correctly. There is a field right down by the pile we were making, and then there's a field across the road from the pile we were making. And we actually, the first stuff we chopped was some wheat that he planted in the previous fall. So in the 250 there, the Case IH 250 Magnum that's right below us right now, pulling the Meyer chopper box, that is Brant. And you can see me there on the right hand side of the screen in front of the fence there. I just got done merging hay. And I was coming back to relieve the owner of this farm. We'll just say Bernie. He is in the 260, which is just pulled off the pile there, right there. And I'm getting ready to kind of relieve him. I actually ended up hopping in the skid steer and going and pushing some tree branches out of one of the fields before I relieved him. But looking at the pile here, this is the pile that we had made that day. Actually looks like Dad is there at this point. I don't remember anymore. I might have relieved Dad. I don't remember. Either way, nope, I take that back. Dad's running the Packer tractor. That's what he's doing. But, so, in the tractor pushing silage, that is the Ford 8670. I believe that's Dad running it. And the TW35 that just drove off the pile, that is Vernie's sister. She is packing the pile with that TW35. And here we got Brant pulling up and unloading. So this pile here is made on top of a asphalt pad, and it works really good. He'll use up majority of this hay before fall comes, and then we'll dump corn silage there when we chop corn in the fall. But he's a smaller size dairy operation, really nice farm. It's down in the kind of in the marshy. He's kind of got quite the farm. Where the farm is right there is kind of turns into marshy ground the farther you look down there, and then on the other side of the road, which we're going to now, is hills. There gets to be some pretty steep hills there, so you get quite the variation. But he has, we're going to say 3 separate farms on this road, between what he owns and what he rents. But he farms majority of the land like this on this road, all the way down for a decent part, except for the one bigger muck farm. Otherwise, he has a decent chunk of land. He's got some fields that he rents up on top of the bluffs there too, which I didn't get any footage of us chopping up there, because by the time I got around to helping, I think, oh no, we weren't able to get up there to do first crop to chop because there was trees down, and we just didn't get around to getting up there at that time. He ended up making dry hay up there. But here we are, just a little bit of footage walking through here. I'm going to leave this clip here in full speed just so you can kind of get real-time experience of what's going on. But looks like we got the 260 dumping on the pile right now. We were there all day. We got there, I got there at 8 in the morning, right, whatever it was, because we were supposed to start around 8:30. But we didn't get going until like 9:30 or whatever. But we were there until probably about 9 o'clock at night between merging, and I was merging all morning, and this is probably a early afternoon video. This clip is here, and we still had yet to go down to the other farm, farther down the road, and start chopping down there, which is where I spent majority of the morning merging hay. And this hay he has here is more of a grassy type mix hay, so it runs really hard through the merger. And I had a hell of a time running the merger through it, but anywho, pile's getting pretty decent size at this point. It got quite a bit larger before we got to the end here, and you'll see a clip at the end of the day that I filmed. Unfortunately, I didn't get too much footage of this, but really nice operation he's got going here. But, like I said, you'll see us here again later on in the video series here in the fall, chopping corn silage. I don't remember how much footage I got, but yeah. So with that being said, I'll let the last few minutes here, or last minute or so, play out, and we'll go with that. Well, we're out here tonight at the neighbor's place. Still trying to make first crop. It's June, I don't know what it is, 10th, 11th, something like that. Tuesday, June something. And, wow, we got a hell of a pile of first crop here. It's wide, packed good. It's a lot of hay. We started about, well, we were supposed to start at 8 this morning. We probably would have been done by now if we would have, but we didn't. Well, we started about 9 o'clock, and it's about 10 o'clock now. And we're calling her quits for the night. Probably another 10 acres left, but yeah. Got my rig parked there. Granny's up over there in the other Magnum. Uncle John's are giving her there. And then Bernie's in his TW packing. So that's what we got going here.